pleasure to introduce Mr. Sudeep Bandyopadhyay. Sir is currently the Managing Director and CEO of Testimony Securities, a full-service financial organization promoted by New Silk Route. Sir is also an independent non-executive director of Hong Kong Mercantile Exchange and other listed and unlisted domestic companies. Sir is a qualified chartered and cost accountant. He has over 23 years of rich and diverse experience in various areas of financial services. He has worked with reputed organizations like Reliance, ITC, ICI, and HLL. Sir was the Managing Director of Reliance Money and was also on board of several Reliance Group of companies since May 2005. He was instrumental in leading Reliance Anil Dhirubhai Ambani Group's foray, amongst others, into equity and commodity broking, financial products distribution, commodity exchanges, gold coin retailing, money changing and money transfer. Under his leadership, Reliance Money had aggressively expanded its footprint in India and across the globe. Sir was also responsible for the acquisition of AMP Sanmar, through which Reliance launched its first life insurance business. During 16 years of Sir's stint with ITC as as head of Treasury and strategic investments, he managed investments in excess of $1.5 billion. He was responsible for the acquisition of strategic stakes in EIH, VST, and several other companies by ITC. I welcome you, sir, for enlightening students with your words of wisdom. Sir, the stage is all yours.
Is there? Yes, sir. Yeah, thank you. Good evening. I think I have a very, very challenging task today. Two great speakers spoke before me. One, a renowned human resources practitioner. The other, an entrepreneur who all of us have a lot of regard for. And I'm a simple financial services person. And you know, financial services has got a lot of bad name in the last 2-3 years. So I represent financial services industry. And I generally have a challenging task, and keeping all of you interested at 7:30 in the night, when you have an 8:30 session tomorrow morning, is a real challenge, believe me. I know. Let me just start by what I wanted to, or rather let me start with what this session was all about. It was about leadership. I will quickly show you two things which I think is key ingredient for leadership, and I'll move from there to financial services and talk about what's the problem in financial services and what is leadership in financial services all about in 2010 to 2030. Anyway, while they're trying to fix the sound of the system, let me come back to financial services because that was general leadership. I started my career with Hindustan Lever in 1988. The world was different. 1991, I think things started changing as far as India is concerned. And we moved into a completely different world. Now, what does this world mean today for all of us? And what does this world demand from us? What did leadership mean pre-90s? And what is leadership today in 2012? Leadership meant few straightforward things. Leadership meant you are inspirational, you can inspire your people. Leadership also meant that you definitely need to take care of your people. And these two, which we'll try to show you, were all about that. Come 91, and last 20 years, the world has changed around us. And you know, we have been fortunate enough to see that happening. What does today's leader in financial services, which I represent, need to be? First and foremost, he needs to be clued into the world. I remember when we used to operate in the late 80s and early 90s, we were very happy with what's happening in Indian markets. Whether it's the capital market, whether it's the commodity market, whether it's a currency, everything was a closed economy. So you don't have to bother about what's happening in US. You don't have to bother about what's happening in Europe. You don't know what China was doing. But today, the biggest challenge for a leader is to figure out and is to understand and interpret what's happening all around you. What's happening in US, what's happening in China, what's happening in Europe. And today as a leader, if you are not clued in into all these happenings across the world, you are completely lost. You don't have the ability to lead your organization. Believe me, it's a disadvantage and it's an advantage. And at your age, I think it's a huge advantage. Because compared to a lot of people, you are a part of a formal management training. You are going through the right rigor. And if you continue with this rigor to an extent in your life in future, once you have started working, it will stand you in good stead and will position you to lead people. Remember this, that the moment you stop learning, you stop keeping yourself aware of the happenings around you, you will lose the opportunity to lead. You will lose the ability to lead. Don't ever, because you have become a CEO, because you have become a CFO, because you have become an HR head, if you stop your learning, if you stop taking cues from what's happening around you in the world, you have lost the ability to lead. Let me also come back and talk to you about, I'm sure financial services, finance, economy is an interesting and a puzzle for a lot of you, most of you, to some of us, most of us also. What's happening in the world around us? What's happening in the economy? What's going to happen to India? You guys are going to come to the job market. You guys are aspiring to join the workforce very soon. And you need to know, you need to understand what's happening, what ails Indian economy, what ails the world economy. Remember 2-3 things. The problem in Europe is a very, very big structural problem. You will read a whole lot of things. But remember the basic problem in Europe. They created a unified currency, but they didn't have a unified control over the currency, over the finances of Europe. And that is the root cause of this entire problem in Europe. Just imagine, I mean, I think all of us can relate to a situation like if India has rupee as a currency. Now imagine if every state was allowed to freely go and print their currency. Assume a scenario when Mamata Banerjee goes and starts printing Indian rupee currency. Assume a scenario where Jayalalitha starts printing. You name, assume that Nitish Kumar, Narendra Modi, everybody is going and printing their currencies. Imagine the chaos which we would have descended into. This is exactly what happened in Europe. They have common currency, whereas the finances are being managed independently by each and every country. That's the root cause of the mess in Europe. Of course, there are a whole lot of other issues, but the root cause is this. How will it disappear? When will it disappear? Nobody has the answer. But somewhere, this structural flaw needs to be plugged, either by ensuring that there is a agreed system under which people will be able to print, or some countries move out of Europe, the balance remaining countries agree to follow the discipline. So that's about Europe. And nobody knows when this problem is going to get solved. Let's look at US and China, because again, these are big problems. There are issues in US, there are issues in China. But remember the difference between Europe and these two major economies. The problems are there, but decisions do get taken. There is no multiple authority. There is an authority in US who is taking decision and trying to overcome the problems. So you find that in spite of a major crisis, US has come back and delivering growth. Maybe very low, but delivering growth. Look at China. There are enough and more problems, but they're still on track of delivering growth. They're trying to contain the problem. And understand the difference between US, China, and Europe. It's very clear. What's the issue with India? Unfortunately, it's the issue of governance. We have an excellent system. We have democracy. And believe me, there should not be any doubt in anybody's mind that democracy is the best system. But it has got its flaws. And unfortunately, we are right now suffering because of the flaws of democracy. We are not able to lead the country in a way it should be led. We have potential, we have opportunities, but it's not happening. What will happen going forward? Things will keep drifting for some time, and that's what has been happening. For last 2.5 years, things have been drifting. So we have come down from a growth of around 9% to around 6%. Partly because of our lack of decisions, partly because of the global factors. But things have been drifting and we are around 6. But remember one thing, and you read enough of this in newspapers, and as Professor Bala said, that this negative news flow, tunes us to think negatively. And I completely agree with what he said. You should not and should never get influenced by this. India is growing at 6%. Forget the figures. Maybe 5.9, maybe 6.2. We are growing at around 6%, irrespective of worst possible scenario, both globally and India. What is the inflation? Inflation is around 7%. We are not getting into the debate whether it's 6.9 or 7.5, around 7%. So what is the nominal growth? 6 plus 7. So you have 13% nominal growth in the economy. If there is a 13% nominal growth in the economy, and I can tell you, and I sit on multiple boards across the world, it's a matter of huge envy. We have our problems, there is no doubt about it. But 13% nominal growth is not bad in today's world. It is in fact excellent. Yes, China has probably better growth than us. Yes, Indonesia probably is crossing us. Yes, Turkey has better growth probably this year. But does it mean we are doing too badly? Definitely not. Does it mean we couldn't have done better? Of course not. We could have done much better. But where does the responsibility rest for doing better? It rests on all of us, all of you. So stop thinking negatively as leaders. And I think I take this point, I will like to take this point at great length, that negative thinking, holds us back. Negative thinking ensures that we don't progress. We will keep thinking negative things. But why? 13% growth, believe me, and I keep telling that to everybody, is a great growth in India, is a great growth anywhere. Look at the sectors. The service sector, yes, there are problems. Software growth has slowed down, but still there is growth. People talk about, I don't know how many of you track corporate results. Infosys has not been posting good results, their share prices are down. But believe me, still they are posting one of the best results in the entire IT industry across the world. Yes, their growth rate have slowed down. They are underperforming at TCS, they are underperforming maybe another 2-3 companies, but they are growing. There are opportunities, they are recruiting. Every IT company is recruiting. By lakhs and lakhs of people, they are recruiting every year. Look at financial services. Financial services is going through one of the worst crises. But I can tell you, we are a new organization. We are funded by one of the leading private equity funds in the world. We are recruiting people. We have recruited almost 1,000 people over the last 8-10 months. There are multiple organizations like that who are recruiting. The potential of India, nobody has any doubts about. So the opportunity is for all of us to grab those, the slots which are lying vacant, waiting for us. Before coming here, I was talking to professors outside, and I was saying that we want to recruit, but we want students who are ready to join the industry. Maybe there are some gaps. Maybe there are some gaps in training. Maybe there are some gaps in thinking. But if I get students who are ready, ready to recruit by hundreds. That's very important. And I can tell you, I used to run the financial services business of Reliance. We used to recruit thousands of people. And even today, organizations which are larger than us are willing to recruit thousands of people. So, remember that negativity which is all around us, created by, to an extent, ourselves, the media. Good news doesn't sell, bad news sells. A bomb in Pune sells. There has been an excellent lecture by one human resources professor in this institute. It's not a news. Nobody is interested in knowing that. So don't get swayed by news. You asked a question on corruption and how corruption impacts. Believe me, every country in the world has corruption. Every single country has corruption. US has corruption. UK has corruption. You name a country, they have corruption. We may have a little more, we may have a little less. Let's not get into the debate. But doesn't mean everything is bad. Doesn't mean we have to be corrupt. There are enough opportunities. Look at this gentleman who was speaking before me. He was working for a corporate. He came back, did something which is wonderful, which is worth learning. He started working for a company, then bought over the company, running the company, employing thousands of people. We run an investment banking unit also. Believe me, every day we get people who are leaving their jobs and want to start a venture. So don't restrict yourself, as the previous speaker was mentioning, to only looking for jobs. Also think like an entrepreneur. There are enough and more opportunities in India today. And I think you guys are privileged to be studying in an institute like this and getting inputs like what you are getting on a daily basis. So look forward to joining the workforce, either as a professional employee or as an entrepreneur. And I'm sure all of you can do wonders. The last thing which I'd like to mention, and all of you must remember, your parents, all of your parents, you guys are between 20 and 25. None of your parents got the kind of opportunity today you are getting. Remember this. They were not dumb people. They were also intelligent. They also had potential. But believe me, they didn't get the opportunity you are getting. So try and understand that and utilize this opportunity. Today, I believe this. I used to work for Reliance, so Dhirubhai Ambani used to say this. But it's so true in today's world. What you want to do, what you can do, what you should do. And I'm sure you will achieve success. Thank you. Now, what I want to do is, I'm sure in finance, economy, world, markets, any of you having any questions, I'll be very happy to answer.